In today's world, Jeff Bezos is looked as the richest and wealthiest man in the world. There are many trillionaires existed before him, but most of them don't know them. So today we going to look richest man in history. Before we going to see, subscribe the channel. Number 10. Mansa Musa. I saw many people's on Instagram posting he is number 1 richest man. Yes, he is rich but not number 1. Mansa Musa lived from 1280 to 1337. Mansa Musa, the king of Timbuktu, is often referred to as the wealthiest person in history. He lived in West Africa in Mali. His kingdom was largest gold-producing kingdom, at a time which gold was in especially high demand. He have estimated net worth of $418 billion, which is huge. Number 9. Augustus Caesar. He is known as Octavia. He was the first emperor of ancient Rome. He have estimated net worth of $4.6 trillion. Augustus restored peace and prosperity to the Roman state and changed nearly every aspect of Roman life. He died in August 19th, and after death of Christ, he ruled for 40 years. During his 40 years reign, Augustus nearly doubled the size of the empire, adding territories in Europe and Asia Minor and securing alliances that gave him effective rule from Britain to India. Number 8. Emperor Shenzong. He lived in China. He have estimated net worth of $30 trillion in today's world. He lived from 1048 to 1085, China's Song dynasty, 960 to 1279, was one of the most economically powerful empires of all time. The empire's wealth came from both its technological innovations and extreme skill at tax collection, which Edward says was hundreds of years ahead of European governments. During his reign in 1068, Emperor Shenzong became interested in Wang Dongxi's policies and appointed Wang as the chancellor. Wang implemented his famous new policies aimed at improving the situation for the peasantry and unemployed. These acts became the hallmark reform of Emperor Shenzong's reign. Number 7. King Akbar from India. Lived from 1542 to 1605. The greatest emperor of India's Mughal dynasty, Akbar controlled an empire that accounted for about 1/4 of global economic output. He have estimated net worth of $21 trillion, but in today's world it will more than 50 trillion. Renowned for his lavish lifestyle and patronage of the arts, this emperor conquered hundreds of thousands of square miles of territory and ruled over much of the Indian subcontinent. He known as the Mughal Empire from 1556 until 1605. He is the great Muslim emperor of India. Established a sprawling kingdom through military conquests, but is known for his policy of religious tolerance. Do you enjoy Akbar and Birbal stories? Comment below. 10 days after his 63rd birthday, the greatest of the great Mughals, or Mughals, died of dysentery in his capital of Agra. A ruler since his teens, Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar had brought 2/3 of the Indian subcontinent into an empire which included Afghanistan, Kashmir, and all of present-day India and Pakistan. Akbar succeeded Humayun on February 14, 1556, while in the midst of a war against Sikandar Shah to reclaim the Mughal throne. In Kalanur, Punjab, the 14-year-old Akbar was enthroned by Bairam Khan on a newly constructed platform, which still stands. He was proclaimed Shahanshah, and he became king when he was 14. Number 6. Joseph Stalin. Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin was a Georgian revolutionary. 5. Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish-American industrialist and philanthropist. Carnegie led the expansion of the American steel industry in the late 19th century and became one of the richest Americans in history. He became a leading philanthropist in the United States and in the British Empire. Carnegie grew up in a family that believed in the importance of books and learning. The son of a handloom weaver, Carnegie grew up to become one of the wealthiest businessmen in America. At the age of 13, in 1848, Carnegie came to the United States with his family. It was the height of the Gilded Age in 1889, and Andrew Carnegie, a pioneer in the steel industry, laid out why he would be donating. Number 4. John Davison Rockefeller Sr., July 8, 1839 to May 23, 1937, was an American business magnate and philanthropist. He is widely considered as the wealthiest man of America with a peak net worth of approximately $418 billion in 2019 dollars. American oil magnate John D. Rockefeller, left, is the richest person in American history and the richest person in the post-industrial revolution. Rockefeller was born into a large family in upstate New York that moved several times before eventually settling in Cleveland, Ohio. He became an assistant bookkeeper at age 16 and went into several business partnerships beginning at age 20, concentrating his business on oil refining. Rockefeller founded the Standard Oil Company in 1870. He ran it until 1897 and remained its largest shareholder. Number 3. Alan Rufus. Alan Rufus is first mentioned as a witness. From England, he lived from 1040 to 1093. He died with £11,000, according to Philip Beresford and Bill Rubenstein, authors of The Richest of the Rich, which they say amounted to 7% of England's GDP at the time. Number 2. Jacob Fugger. He is from Germany. Jacob Fugger of the Lilly, also known as Jacob Fugger the Rich or sometimes Jacob II, was a major German merchant, mining entrepreneur, and banker. He had been called to the city by Emperor Maximilian I in the course of the Diet of Augsburg. Here the artist was part of delegation of his home city, Nuremberg, and met numerous personalities, including the Fugger with whom he was in good relationships since his second trip to Venice, 1506 to 1507. The artist, however, executed the portrait later, around 1520. Number 1. Genghis Khan. He had estimated net worth of $100 trillion. He was the founder and first great Khan and emperor of the Mongol Empire, which became the largest contiguous empire in history after his death. He came to power by uniting many of the nomadic tribes of Northeast Asia. Mongol leader Genghis Khan, 1162 to 1227, rose from humble beginnings to establish the largest land empire in history. After uniting the nomadic tribes of the Mongolian plateau, he conquered huge chunks of Central Asia and China. Little is known about Genghis Khan's early life, due to the lack of contemporary written records. The few sources that give insight into this period, Genghis Khan's birth name, Temujin, was derived from the Mongol word team or meeting of iron, while Jin denotes agency. Temujin thus means blacksmith. One day you will become billionaire if you subscribe the channel. If you enjoyed the video, give the thumbs up button.